Hi, my name is Zoe Luna. I am the owner-founder of Equestrian. I am a hunter-jumper trainer based out of Santa Paula, California, and I specialize in the retraining and resales of off-the-track thoroughbreds. I started riding when I was 11 years old. I grew up riding in Santa Barbara, California, and since then have grown my business in multiple other cities such as Summerlin, Carpinteria, Ojai, Thousand Oaks, and I am now based out of Santa Paula, California. One of the big questions I always get is, how do you become a trainer? Or how did you get where you are? I've worked for a lot of different trainers, mentor, working student, etc. One of my biggest pieces of advice is, if you can take a moment around a horse or in the saddle, take it. The more experience, the better. Putting in those long hours and all that hard work is what's going to get you different connections that will pay off in the long run. So any chance you can groom a horse or even just listen to lessons, hang around the barn, do just that, because people will get familiar with who you are and your riding, and that's where it all begins. My Instagram started growing shortly after my first resales horse, Roman, broke his leg in a freak accident. He had pretty slim odds of ever being rideable again after his second surgery. He went through numerous challenges with abscesses. We thought he had C. diff, and after a 2-year-long rehab, he actually was what we called miracle horse, and he came back to jumping work. Since then, we've taken quite a few other off-the-track thoroughbreds and rescues, and people seem to enjoy that journey almost as much as I do. But it's been very rewarding work, so I think people like to follow along with that. I wanted to start a YouTube channel to show you guys what I do every day as far as the business aspect with the horses, to training, resales, producing young horses. If you follow my Instagram, many of you know that I post a lot of jumping videos or pictures and such. It's a lot easier on YouTube to express a longer, maybe more detailed version of what I post with helpful tips and tricks and training advice for those of you that are just starting or want more insight into this career, especially with producing young horses and the resales aspect of this industry. I have 16 horses in training. 10 are daily horses. 3 of those are mine, 1 is my mom's. As far as goals go for the horses themselves, I don't necessarily have a set goal for any of the horses, more so progression through the year, over the years, and reaching their full potential. For myself, I would love to go professional as far as competing in like Longines or Rolex someday, but that's not my primary focus. More than anything, my goal is to keep doing what I'm doing as long as I can do it. My role models, that's actually kind of a hard one. Riding wise, probably BZ Madden and Ben Mayer. I bet a lot of people say that, but I really appreciate and aspire to ride as well as them. As far as what I call my realistic idols, Elisa Wallace is a huge one for me because she does a lot of what I do, and I think she's a great advocate for thoroughbreds and Mustangs. A typical day at the barn for me consists of arriving at 7:30-ish. Thankfully, I don't have to feed hay or muck out. That's taken care of twice a day for me. But I do grain first thing in the morning. So grain and supplements is the first thing I do. And then I start riding, and I ride until I have to teach, which is normally about 3:30, sometimes 4. And I don't normally leave the barn until 5 or after 5. In a typical day, I'll normally ride anywhere from 3 to 10 horses. So I sleep very well at night. Within that day, those horses are doing anything from flat work to poles to grid work to jump schools. It all kind of depends where we are in the season, what shows are coming up, and what that day calls for. So all of my horses, they don't go over fences more than once to twice a week, depending on their age, their strength, and their experience level. So if some of the younger horses only jump once a week, I'll substitute in one of their flat days with poles or cavalettis just to get that idea kind of rolling, but not, work them prematurely, so to speak. So my 3 horses are Dragon, Troy, and Zin. I've had Dragon or D the longest, and he's more of my, so to speak, finished jumper. Obviously we're still moving up the levels, but he's a bit older. Troy, I got him just over a year ago now, and he was a kill pen rescue who has surprised us all and is now showing in the meters, and I hope to bring him up a little further, maybe meter 20 one day. And Zin, he is my up and coming. I hope he goes quite a ways, no pressure, but big future for him. He could do anything from hunters to eck to eventing, big jumpers, big derbies, but I'm a jumper, so as selfish as I am, I'm hoping that he does meter 40s one day. But if he wants to do that, only time will tell. I am sponsored by CWD, High Gain Feeds, Magic Equipe, Tech Stirrups, Cask Helmets, Godo, O3 Animal Health, Maylort, Equestrian Stockholm, SoCal Equestrian, Freedom Ice Wraps, Incrediware Equine, Mary's Botanicals, High Flying Bonnets, and Sport Horse Essentials.